Dagestan Beheading Massacre, also known as the Unknown Russian Soldier, or its more common name, Chichklir, was an incident during the War of Dagestan, filmed and distributed on tape, in which Russian prisoners of war were executed. The video is by far one of the worst videos ever recorded. Throughout the war, Russian soldiers reported finding taped executions of Russian officers. Some videos were later sold as snuff films and ended up online. Dagestan beheading dates back to 1999. Chechen Mujahideen terrorists, led by Salutin Temirbulatov, entered Dagestan with up to 500 fully armed soldiers. There were only 13 lightly armed Russian conscripts in the village of Dagestan when the attack took place. Heavily outnumbered by Chechen terrorists, 7 of the Russian conscripts run away from the village. The remaining 6 soldiers stood up to the oppressors, but quickly ran out of ammo and surrendered after being promised POW status. What happened next is on the video. Chechen terrorists took the captives on the field and mercilessly executed each of them by beheading, as the cameraman was recording close-ups of their slit throats. The video leaves nothing to the imagination. The Russian soldiers are making horrific gurgling sounds as blood pours out of their slit throats painfully, counting last seconds of their lives. Towards the end of video, you will see one of captured Russian soldiers make a run for it. He was the luckiest one of the 6. He was killed by a gunshot to the back as he was running. This brought him less gruesome and faster death. His 5 comrades weren't this lucky and had to suffer slow death. The most disturbing part is the fact that the Chechen terrorists made the Russian soldiers watch and listen to their mates dying, letting them know their turn is coming next and that there is nothing they could do about it. A few months later, the entire gang of Salutin Temirbulatov terrorists was confronted by forces of Sulman Yamadeyev and the Spetsnaz, and every single one of them was either killed or captured. None of the culprits from the video got away. Salutin Temirbulatov himself was arrested exactly on March 20th, 2000. Tumbling Doll of Flesh is a 1998 Japanese pornographic horror film written and directed by Tamakichi Anaru. This controversial and confrontational piece of underground filmmaking remains among the hardest to see and most notorious gore films of the era. The story revolves around a woman named Kana and a man named Kiku being hired to star in an amateur porno being made by 2 men. As the porn shoot progresses, it incorporates elements of BDSM, such as breast bondage, multiple penetration with dildos, wax play, flagellation, and an enema. Uncomfortable with how rough the film has gotten, Kana tries to leave, prompting the director, cameraman, and Kiku to knock her out, tie her to a bed, and strip her. While Kiku rapes the semi-conscious Kana, the director cuts her left leg off with a meat cleaver and mutilates her tongue with potato peeler and shears to stop her screaming. When Kana passes out from the pain, she is injected with drugs to wake her up and keep her conscious. Kana's right arm and remaining leg are severed, and her abdomen is cut open so Kiku can have sex with her innards. After Kiku ejaculates blood-laden semen onto Kana's breasts, the director beats him over the head with the cleaver and stabs Kana in the face with it. Kiku is then castrated by the director, who makes a telephone call while the cameraman continues filming the mangled bodies of their 2 stars. Horse Blanket is a series of disturbing photos of a girl named Jasha Loden and her boyfriend John Frost. Jasha Loden and her boyfriend were looking after a 32-year-old horse in declining health when they decided to kill it. The 2 put the horse down with a single bullet from a high-caliber rifle. However, that wasn't enough for the pair, and what they did next has caused extreme emotional reactions and even threats against their lives. After gutting the dead horse, Jasha stripped completely naked, climbed inside the carcass, and then took some very disturbing photos. Jasha initially posted the pictures on B's section on 4chan, showing her doused in blood and holding up and biting a giant horse heart. After the photos went viral, the pair received a lot of criticism, which led to a police investigation for animal cruelty. In one photo, only Jasha's head can be seen poking through the carcass with a wry smile on her face. Shotgun Commercial is a video about a few men being executed via shotgun by ISIS. Slow motion replays show the impact and the breaking of the skulls. The most disturbing part is when the camera shows the pop-out eyes of the victims. Special Fried Rice is one of the most grotesque shock sites on the internet, showing an infected penis of a man who has a flesh-eating virus that infects his manhood. The title also proclaims, "It's worse than blue waffle." The Burning Mattress is a sickening video showing the moment a prisoner is burned to death after being wrapped in a carpet, gagged, and bound. In the disturbing video, the man is seen wrapped in a roll of carpet and tied down, with a gag shoved in his mouth. As the large man wearing a red t-shirt lays there sweating and helpless, he is set on fire in front of a baying crowd. It is believed that the man was burned alive after an inmate caught wind that the man had murdered one of his family members during jail riot inside the Feira de Santana jail in northeastern Brazil. On April 23, 2017, Serena McKay, 19 years old high school student, attending Sag Kang Anasinab High School, was attacked by a group of schoolmates who filmed her attack and death. The video depicting Serena screaming softly, "I'm so sorry," while two attackers aged 16 and 17 brutally killed her, has been shared online and first shared through the social media platform Facebook by one of the bystanders. The video shows the attackers kicking, punching, and stomping Serena's head, who cries out, "I'm so sorry." But the two never stop attacking her until she goes limp. You could see the victim's blood, facial injuries, hear the sound of bones cracking during the assault, and voices swearing at her. The two teenage attackers have been charged with second-degree murder in McKay's death and are in custody. Four Girls, Six Nostrils is a video depicting one bound, topless girl sitting on a chair while three hot girls hawking a large, slimy glob of spit mixed with nose snot into her mouth. In the beginning of the video shows the close-up face of the bound girl full of slimy spit and a large amount of nasal mucus dripping all over her. The three girls then took some of the drippings and put it on her mouth, and then continued to put even more slimy spit and a lot of nasal mucus on her face and mouth. Later, they let her lie down on the floor and puke all over her. It's really disgusting. One Guy, Two Spoons is a very sick and twisted video about a guy pulling his eye out using a spoon. This video is really the most disgusting and shocking video on the internet. It will definitely scar you for life. It depicts a woman with an infected vagina full of maggots while the doctor took the maggots one by one. It is believed that the woman had just given birth and the maggots were caused by a medical mishap. The true story behind the video is that the maggots are believed to have been caused by an infection as a result of gross medical negligence of the doctors and nurses who performed the delivery after the gauze used to stop the postpartum bleeding was left inside the woman. The victim recounted the incident to the media after seeing flesh-eating maggots crawling down her legs 10 days after giving birth.